Matt,
Yes.
how in the world are you?
I have been better. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not. I got sick last Sunday or Monday, and I've been sick the whole week.
Mm.
Like yesterday, I had a scratchy throat, and my nose was stuffed, and I had a headache. The whole week has just been terrible. And I think Wednesday was when my throat was starting to feel better, and then yesterday, my head was feeling better. And then this morning is when, my throat completely fine, headache's gone. My nose is a little runny, but other than that, I'm good. Which I'm really glad about. I'd prefer to be sick in the beginning of the week and have a terrible time at school than, not be able to come and, do what we plan on doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would really suck.
Well, that's unfortunate. I had no idea. A lot of people that I work with are starting to get sick. Like their kids got sick at the beginning of the week, and now that they've been home with them for a few days, they're getting it. It's that time of the year.
Yeah. I guess it's fine because I wasn't sick at all. I think I may have been sick once last year. So, I'm completely fine with it being right now.
Well, that's cool. How's school going?
Good. I think I'm definitely getting used to things a lot faster than I was last semester. And I guess, did I say last semester twice?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, last semester it took me 3 or 4 weeks for me to I don't know, just get my stuff done before the day it's due. So, this week, I got a bunch of supplies. I've got a sculpture that I have to work on, and then I have to do some sketches for another sculpture. Those sketches are due Monday, and that full sculpture is due on Wednesday. Math. I hate doing math so much.
You're a creative type. That's why.
It's just I don't need it. I'll never need anything past I want to say 9th or 10th grade math.
Consumer mathematics.
Yeah, that's
Percentages.
that's all I need. I don't
decimals,
need to know,
fractions.
Yeah, I don't need to know all these
Theoretical.
just equations, all these equations and different ways to solve things. Look, I'm never gonna use this. The most type of math that I'll use in my job will be measuring.
Yeah, I don't see why maths like algebra are required. That to me should be, if you're going to be an engineer, you take algebra.
That makes sense.
I
don't actually know if engineers take algebra. Most engineers that I know of have gotten
I know they take calculus.
yeah. Well, I think they get a bunch of AP credits when they're in high school, so they never have to go to that. So they just start in calculus or
Trigonometry or whatever. I was able to avoid college. Was it college algebra? Yeah, I didn't take college level algebra. I was able to take something called Math for Non-Majors 1 and 2, which basically just skimmed the surface of all the different mathematics out there, and I loved it.
I would have loved to have something like that because the lowest level math class, I'm taking the second easiest math class that the school offers. The easiest math class that they offer is a intermediate math class that you have to take if your math score isn't high enough on the ACT. And that helps you bumps your grade up on the ACT, so you can start taking college level math classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually almost had to do that because my math score in the ACT wasn't great. So, but they have this thing called a Compass test that you can take before you start college, and it basically acts as like it's that whole class, like an entire semester's worth of class, in like a 2 hour test. And if you make like a certain grade on it, that's like a certain amount of points added to your score, so you can like skip that. And thankfully, I did because I would have had to take 2 math classes instead of just one.
Yeah.
But I'm still a little just. I'm upset because I don't remember everything because it's been about 2 years since I've done like math every day. Like after high school, like you have summer and that's a really long time, and then I don't know. I didn't practice algebra in like any of my other math classes. It was all like new math that I've never done before. So I really haven't done algebra in like 2 years, so everything's kind of like I'm looking at and like I feel dumb, but then I have to tell myself I was like, you haven't done this like ever. Like in high school they make you do that religiously because you go to school and you have that class like every day for 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had to do any of that. I was like, yeah. Because I'm too busy being a real human being in society that doesn't need this garbage.
I'm not locked up in some room just figuring these equations out for problems.
Exactly. If I wanted to hate my life, I'd have been an engineer.
Yeah. There are some people that are just born for that. And I know I'm not one of those people. I know my limits.
Yeah. But thankfully I live with 2 engineers, so
yeah.
at least
And
one of them's been helping me.
the thing is like, you know, people that are really good at math usually aren't great with English. That's fine. I don't think they should have to take English Comp 1 and 2. Why? Why should they have to learn how to write an essay when they'll never use the skill?
My professors told me that, because someone always had that question, or someone was always just like, I don't need to like, I have to work on 7 pages of math questions for one homework assignment that I got assigned yesterday that's due tomorrow. I don't have time to worry about what this person was thinking when they wrote this book back in 1600, like 35 or whatever. Like, I have to do things that are relative now.
Yeah.
And they're always like, well, maybe you need to learn how to write a paper so that you can talk to a big group of business people when you're older. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
and to me, I'm like, that's speech. And everyone's required to take that.
Yeah, public speaking.
Yeah. Which I've already
Which
taken.
usually just involves putting together an outline
Yeah.
and then just rehearsing your speech. Voila.
Yeah. Well, also being an art student, I've had to present my works to my class before, so I basically have been doing that ever since I started college. So taking a speech class was just like, hey, you know that thing you've been doing like once every 3 or 4 weeks? You get to do that 2 times a week for an entire semester. Have fun with that. It actually wasn't too bad. Like, I'd take speech classes over like my writing classes and reading classes any day. But I'm done with all my English classes. Never have to take another English class, so I'm happy with that. I just need to get this math class out of the way, and I can be happy.
And you could be happy
Not really, but you
by
just gotta say
playing video games. Speaking of which, what you playing?
that. Me and my roommates have still been playing Project Zomboid, which has gotten even more fun because we found a mod for it that adds armor. It adds like you can go mining and get a bunch of stuff so that you can protect yourself from zombies. Because like I've died several times to infection, but in order to get infected, like there's a slight chance you might get infected if you get scratched.
Question.
Yes.
Is it a 2D sprite-based game or is it 3D?
the character models are 2D, but the environment is kind of like on a 2.5.
Okay. It's not the game I thought it was. I've seen a lot of footage of what looks like a survival game where you're up against a bunch of other people trying to survive, so I guess that's not it.
No. Well, I think there is an online part of the game. Like, you can get with other people and try and survive, or you can kill other people. But we just want to have fun after the end of, like, a long school day, so we're just trying to see how long the four of us, or how far the four of us are willing to go. Because I think all of us, there's four of us. Three of us have died at least once. And thankfully, like, they've got this amazing system. You can start another character, and then you can spawn with, like, any of the other players that are playing currently. So you don't have to spawn back where you spawned before and try and find everyone. Which would be fine if there was an in-game map, which there isn't. And the in-game map is like 3 counties of Kentucky.
Oh.
So it's huge. It's like it's downscaled a little bit, so it's not like massive, but it's pretty big. It would take about 4 hours to get from one side of the map to the other if you were just constantly sprinting.
That's big.
Yeah. So, I love that little system. Been enjoying the Year of the Rooster event on Overwatch. Still haven't gotten any... Have you heard about that?
Yeah, the Chinese New Year that they... Or the content, I guess, that they... It leaked, I think, about a couple of weeks before they announced it.
Yeah. Which is like... I'm kind of surprised that they waited that long to reveal it. But not really. Because, like, I think they did the same thing with the winter event. I had no idea the winter event was even happening until, like, a week before it ended. Because I just didn't play Overwatch for a really long time over winter break. And then, like, I got back to my apartment and I plugged my Xbox and I was like, there's Christmas skins and Christmas themed level maps? And, like, I got one skin and it was, I don't know, it was one that I wasn't really like, oh, I hope I get it, but it's still cool. It was a Reaper's Christmas skin. It looks, in my opinion, it looks better than what most of his skins are right now. But I'm sure other people would fight me on that. Right now, Year of the Rooster event, they have so many cool skins. But I really only want like 3, and it's just like 2 of them are my mains. Well, one's a main, one I'll play if he's needed, and then the other one is just like I really like his skin. I want May's new like red kimono skin. Just because, like, I think it looks really good. Bastion's Chinese skin looks awesome. It's like this black and red design, and there's these Chinese, like, symbols on him. And when other Bastion skins, they have, like, birds on him because he's got, like, this relationship with a bird.
Right.
But with his Chinese one, it's a rooster. So I was like... That's also really cool.
That's a nice touch.
And then, by far, the best skin in the whole event is Reinhardt's, which he looks like a big Chinese, like, temple monk warrior. Just like this awesome-looking armor. And he's got this big, like, it's like this crescent moon blade at the tip. And it's just like, I don't know. I can't... Like, me explaining it just won't do it justice. It just looks super cool. So, those are the 3 skins that I want by the end of this event. And haven't gotten any of them. I've been getting a bunch of, like, worthless spray tags that I don't care about. And I was like, look, give me something I want to care about. Stop doing this. And I definitely don't want to have to drop money on chess. So... hopefully I'll get those soon. But, yeah. Zomboid and Overwatch. What about you?
On to me. So, been playing more Dream Drop Distance, and the game. I've noticed something about the game. It doesn't run that well on the 3DS. It just doesn't. And it makes me question why they added the Dream Eaters as allies, since that's naturally going to, command more from the game to have yourself, two allies, as well as the groups of enemies that you fight. It doesn't look any different from any standard Kingdom Hearts game that you're going to play, be it, PlayStation 2 or PSP game. But there's just, even certain cutscenes, when there's really not a whole lot going on, the game just slows down on the frame rate. And it's weird because Birth by Sleep on the PSP ran perfectly fine. Now, with Birth by Sleep, you were allowed to play the game at the highest clock speed for the PSP CPU, which was 333 megahertz, whereas the standard was 222. And if you had a second or a third model of the PSP, because the original fat one wouldn't go up that high for some reason. I think it might have been battery life on the old one wasn't as good as the second and third ones. So the second one's the light, third one's the bright, nicknamed. And so those ones can go up that high. I played it on a bright, bumped it up the CPU, and it does warn you, hey, if you're going to play on this maximum setting, your battery will only last about an hour and a half. So, and that's why that CPU had like a clock variable speed just due to battery concerns. And most games didn't give you that option to go up to that speed. So maybe that has something to do with it, because I want to say the 3DS, the original 3DS, was like dual core at like something around 170 to 180 megahertz per core. And even though it's a quad core in the new 3DS, I don't think, the game's not coded to take advantage of that. So even though I'm playing on a new 3DS, it still just chugs at certain parts. And it's the only Kingdom Hearts game I've ever played that has performance issues. It's strange. So really makes me wish that you didn't have companions, that you just played by yourself, because the game would run a lot better. Picked up some new things this week, and let me go through those right now. I'll just make a huge mess. All right. So the first one is the Ultimate Edition guide for...
I don't know if they can see anything.
Final Fantasy 15. They can. See? It's still in the glossiness. But yeah, they can see it. They can also see the red and blue light. Ooh. Yeah, I don't play Final Fantasies without a guide. That may make me not as hardcore of a gamer, but I don't care. I play games to have fun, and yeah, there's that. So, something else. I should have prepared this better. And this just came today, and it is beat to... I don't know what they did. It feels like they played football with it or something, but I gave in, got the Wii U edition for Twilight Princess with the Wolf Link amiibo. And I gave in because, number one, I love Twilight Princess. And I've been seeing more gameplay footage of it, and it does seem like they actually put in quite a bit of work into updating the textures and just making the game run natively at 1080p. And that, I don't know, I don't mind playing the game twice. So also the Wolf Link amiibo, when you use it in the game, I think it drops you into like a new dungeon or cavern, and depending on how many hearts you have at the end of it, that will transfer over to the amiibo. Then when Breath of the Wild comes out, you'll be able to, since you can, I want to say you can like recruit wildlife, like you even like wolves in the game, like you can have them fight alongside you. You can take the amiibo and spawn Wolf Link into Breath of the Wild to be like an ally, as long as, and you know, however many hearts you brought in, that's going to be his health level. What?
I think that's a really cool idea for it. I just... Like, you could start off with 3 hearts, and a companion that you have can have, like...
Oh, 20?
Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm gonna look at some grass. Why don't you go take on that big old octopus shooting lightning?
Yeah, but I think it's like a one-time use. Like, once the 20 hearts are depleted, you've got to like go back to Twilight Princess and play that again to refill them. I think that's how that works.
That just sounds awful.
It's a cool thing. I'm
sure there are people that would be willing to do that. I think if it died, I would just be like, well...
I'm not doing that again.
He was a precious member of the team, but, you know, life goes on.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if that was... I ordered it from a third-party seller on Walmart. It came from... or Walmart.com, I should say. Came from California, went to a state below us for some reason, sat there for a day, and then came here. Was actually supposed to arrive yesterday, but I'm not too upset about that. Don't think I'm keeping the box now because it looks like crap. But yeah, I think that's super dumb that the post office can't seem to do anything right sometimes. And for my last trick, if I can get them. All right. So, cover this one first, and that one second. All right. So it's funny because I'm playing through Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS. We'll pick this up. This came out this week. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, if you want the full title. It's a Kingdom Hearts game that they're going to be like that. I've learned to just accept it. It was funny. Before 358 over 2 days came out, Tetsuya Nomura said in an interview, "Oh, once you play the game, it'll make sense." No. The game takes place over 358 days, but the over 2 part, maybe it's reference to Roxas and Shion being like 2, and I won't spoil, like, I just will say that they're linked. Maybe that's what that means.
I think there's like 2 days after 358, or like maybe 2 days before the game starts that are relevant.
Maybe.
I honestly can't remember because I played that game when I was in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it since.
The subtitle doesn't make sense.
It's weird.
Still. It's still one of the worst ones as far as subtitles goes. Like Birth by Sleep makes sense if you play that one. Yeah. Chain of Memories makes sense.
Dream Drop Distance was only so that they could get 3D in there.
Well, you're going to the dreaming worlds. There's Dream Eaters. There's the drop system. Distance. Yeah, that the one they just threw in
because there's Kirby Triple Deluxe.
Yeah, I know. But, okay, that's more like a code. Like, you really have to be thinking.
No, it's not. It's like Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS.
No,
Like
that's
a lot of the games who have
straightforward.
come on the 3DS have just had the title of like 3D in them.
Yeah, I
Not
want
all of them.
and I want to say Kingdom Hearts 3D came out for the 3DS. I want to say within the first year. It's either the first year or the second year. I know it came out in summer. I don't know if it was. No, it came out in 2012. The system came out in 2011, so that would have been its second year. But came out pretty early in the system's lifespan. But okay, so I'm not going to play this right now, but I did jump into some of the things. So, like with the other HD mixes, you get 3 parts. You get 2 games, and then a cinematic story. Cinematic story links into a Kingdom Hearts game called Kingdom Hearts Chi. I think it was a browser/smartphone Kingdom Hearts game. I don't know if it ever came over to the West, but it has kind of like a 2-dimensional chibi kind of art style. I don't know. There's some Kingdom Hearts games even I won't play, and this looks like one of them. But it basically tells about like the ancient Keyblade wielders, and I think this cinematic tells what happens after that, like maybe leading up to Birth by Sleep, or maybe the events before Birth by Sleep. All I know is it takes place long before even Terra Ventus and Aqua. Then you have it's called, this is another weird mouthful, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. And this is basically the sneak peek for Kingdom Hearts 3. The game is also the cinematic. Oh, the cinematic is called Kingdom Hearts Chi back cover. Both of those sections of the game run on Unreal Engine 4. It will be what Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like. So you're getting a sneak peek. And the point 2 Birth by Sleep part, you are playing as Aqua at the end of Birth by Sleep and where she finds herself. And that's about 3 hours worth of gameplay. But I played through it and it feels... Or not, I didn't play through it. I played a little bit of it. And it does definitely have the feel of Kingdom Hearts, but it's just gotten better and more refined. Now, I was actually really impressed with what I thought was going to be the most disappointing part of the package. The HD version of Dream Drop Distance runs at 60 frames per second. No Kingdom Hearts game has run at 60 frames per second. They always run at 30. So when it started playing like that, my jaw just dropped. Because the game already looks good. All the Kingdom Hearts games look good. And they look good in motion. So when you bump it up from 30 to 60, it just looks so good looking at it in motion. So that led me to think, I was like, all right, well, the HD versions released on the PlayStation 3, those versions of the game are still 30 frames per second. And then I remembered they're going to release on the PS4 in March a collection of 1.5 and 2.5 on one package for the PlayStation 4. And yes, those games will all run at 60 frames per second as well. So I have to get that. Have to.
Why does it have to be a PlayStation exclusive?
I thought that 3 was going to be on the Xbox One.
It was. And it was originally going to be on the Xbox One. And when I heard that, I was so happy because, like, I don't have to go out
and get a PS4.
and get a PS4, which my brother already has one. And I don't know. I imagine it'd be at least out by now.
What, Kingdom Hearts 3?
Which is silly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like Half-Life 3. I mean, it's just like the fact that we're going to get it eventually is like a small miracle. Or the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, so...
Well, by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 finally comes out, you could probably pick up a base model PS4 for $250. Just saying. And one more thing. One tiny little thing.
Yeah, just a little thing.
Just a small little game. You might have heard of it. And everyone was posting about it on YouTube. I haven't played any of this yet. Matt hasn't played any of this yet. We have maybe seen the first 10 minutes or so of the game just by, watching our normal YouTube stuff that we watch. And apparently it's not, nothing happens in that amount of time. So we will be streaming this on Twitch. By the time you see this on YouTube, we will have already streamed. So our future selves will probably hate us.
I don't need my future self. Like, all this week, I've just been going like, oh,
it's happening.
And then, like, halfway through the week, you sent me a picture. It's like, guess what just arrived? Or something. I can't remember what you sent me, but it's a picture of it. It was basically like...
It was a video.
Yeah, and you just start laughing.
Maniacally.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, no, it exists.
So, this will be fun. This is going to be our first co-op stream of a game. We're going to alternate playing through it. I don't even know, honestly, how the game is divided up, if it's divided up at all. I don't know if there's chapters. Typically, that's how Resident Evil games play. You clear a chapter, you save, all that stuff. But with the way games are now, with everything auto-saving, I don't know. We will just have to... We'll just have to see, Matt.
I'm excited to be able to do this. The game will make me shake in my bed for at least 2 or 3 weeks. I can almost guarantee it.
I have in my head that you're just going to get to a point where you're just like, nope, I can't do it anymore. And I'm going to try to push you as long as I can get you to go. But, it's only apparently like a 10 to 12 hour long game. It's not terribly long for one playthrough.
That's going to be agonizing, dude. Oh.
And so, yes, if you miss our live stream and you don't get onto Twitch for anything, we will be uploading all the footage onto YouTube, probably the same week that this podcast goes up. So please watch it. Let us know what you think about it. Leave comments, all kinds of stuff. If you find it entertaining, if you think we need to find a better hobby, whatever, let us know.
I think we're past that point.
Yeah.
Video games are so much a part of our lives now. It's like...
We're not going to get a different hobby, but, maybe we could find ways to improve, I suppose.